down. The pre-fire Superman. Maybe shouldn't be getting away with this one. He's left into the 1v1. Superman.
Tiene la tercera, pero Vacina dice que no. 3-1. Coge la primera. Sigue aguantando.
Are we on time?
All right, welcome back. While it looked like, you know, FURIA was going to take that last map, the first map that they went up against Loud, and Loud just came back. It's like what Baby Bay said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
I mean, listen, that was a great comeback, and a lot of credit to Loud, but also, I mean, man, did they toss that away. That should have been a FURIA map win, no doubt.
100%. Yeah. Now let's talk about some of the highlights. So even though FURIA did not win, I mean, we still had Nazra and MW0. There's some highlights coming from that.
Yeah,
I would say
absolutely. Both of them were playing fantastic on that attack half.
Yeah.
And specifically, I was really impressed by the fact that MW was kind of knowing when to hold back. He was doing a much better job than against 100 Thieves when he was just over aggro every single round. Yes, he was getting some kills, but so many of the rounds he was throwing his life away too. And when I saw them playing more reserved in the right moments and dominating the attack half in this way, it looked like it was a sure win for them. They fixed the little mistakes that they had even after they beat 100 Thieves.
Yep, they used a util, and that kind of duo combo was working perfectly together. It felt like they had the synergy to kind of bring it back, and you can see the vibes. And look at these stats. I mean, Nazwar, I know he doesn't have that high of an ACS, but he was constantly setting up MW for those kills.
Yeah. Now, I'm honestly just impressed with everything that we're seeing from them. But, you know, honestly, hopefully, you know, they'll do a better job on Icebox. But we had a bit of a hiccup earlier, but we actually have Elizabeth standing by with Coach STK.
Here with Coach STK of Loud. You almost didn't have it, but then off of a Picado 1v4, you run away with it and shut FURIA down. I'm going to ask you about the mood of the team before and after that 1v4, because Pincata is taking his time to that 1v4, just isolating those 1v1s. What was the mood like before? What was the mood like after? And you just taking the game and running with it?
I think that the mood was pretty the same because we have like a really good read on the game, but in the details we were losing. Like I think that we lost 1v4 for Anazair, and then we still like happy and trying like more and more. And the clutch of Pancada win the game for us because I think that's brought back our confidence, you know. So the game was like a lot on their side, but Pancada bring up for us.
Well, shout out Pancada, best of luck on map 2.
And confidence is exactly what I was talking about going into it. And that Pancada round, it was just so important. I mean, winning the 1v4 to kind of come back and have that clutch situation. It was so good. They won all 7 rounds after that to win the game. I think it was just phenomenal. I mean, you can see here the vibe kind of went up for Loud and for FURIA. They couldn't pick it back up. I mean, 11-6 to losing the round, not winning a single round after that. Your mental must be shattered if you're on FURIA's side.
We've seen it so many times that when a team is down, one player can make a huge play and just completely flip the switch for everybody. And also felt like after that, FURIA, they stopped playing proactively in the huge majority of the rounds. They were playing so slow, just hoping that like a round would come to them where they could win. But it just allowed Loud so much free space, getting free kills as well with Sadok walking forward.
It was like they were hoping not to make any more mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
But the second you get into that mindset is the second you're going to lose the game, when you're literally playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And again, we saw how good MW was doing earlier on in the game, being aggressive and having that support behind him, but it just stopped. And that clutch from Pancada was literally the momentum turner for that game.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? Let's hear what the FURIA coach has to say just ahead of map 2.
Here with Coach Koi of FURIA. A heartbreaking map loss. That absolutely would have been yours. I'm going to ask you just one very simple question. If Pancada had not won that 1v4, all things considered, would you have won that map?
Cara, costumava, sem dúvida. A gente já se cobrou ali atrás. Eu não tenho dúvida que a gente fecharia o jogo. Esse é o preço da irresponsabilidade, gente. A gente tava 1v4, a gente decidiu trocar todo mundo individual. aconteceu. Agora o mais importante é a gente focar pro próximo mapa, esquecer isso e, infelizmente, aconteceu esse round.
Yes, 100%. It was a little bit of a responsibility. We had 4v1 and we started just acting individually, going for it. We discussed it in the backstage. Now we just changed the focus and let's go for the second map with everything resetted.
All right, reset. Best of luck on map 2.
Well, yeah. Well, we're looking at Icebox next, and hopefully FURIA can pick things up here.
Definitely. If there's any map they can come back on, at least from what we've seen so far in Stage 2, when they're down, I believe in their Icebox. They beat 100 Thieves on it in their very first map this stage with Shawnee joining the team, and they looked the best on that map than they've looked on any of them so far.
It was a close map, but you could tell that they were able to kind of put their own spin on their playstyle on it and were able to be super aggressive. I'm just hoping that the end of that last map doesn't bleed into the start of this map because their Icebox was looking really good. I mean, FURIA, they've had a good record on this, but Loud, on the other hand, they've also had a really good record. And this comp, I mean, the double controller, the double initiator, we've seen them play this kind of before. Low-key, I was kind of hoping they'd pull out the arena again from like way back. But yeah, I mean, this comp makes sense.
Yeah, they played that comp against EG where they barely lost 13-11. This is the same thing that FURIA were playing as well against 100 Thieves. They looked so fundamentally sound on this map, so coordinated with swing timings, and I'm hoping to see that from them again to make a comeback here into the series.
Absolutely. Will this one make it to a map 3 is the question. Well, let's find out and send it back to your casters. Here's Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, Akeem. Yeah, we turn our attention over to Icebox, where Loud comes in with this double controller comp. And Dre, you mentioned something off cam that I want to get your thoughts on. It seems like roles have swapped around a little bit. There's been some shifting of the tides for Loud.
Yeah, definitely. It was 2Es that was on the Omen last time around. Also Pancata on the Viper. Now it's 2Es on Harbor and Pancata on Omen, which I think is good for them. I think it's good to have a new look. I feel like Loud have played pretty much the same composition on this map for the last like 2 years, it feels like. So I think having a new look, some freshness to the compositions, and I also think that they're kind of feeling that the meta kind of shifted away from Viper in a way, and I think that they felt that against EG, and that's why they're doing this now.
Yeah, I mean, those nerfs suck. I get it.
Definitely. And on the other side, yeah, it was FURIA who looked really good on this map against 100 Thieves. They played fundamentally sound, still running more of a standard composition.
Oh, there is a lot of Loud presence here. You've got to get out of there, son. 65 HP, saves the heal for himself, but it's all for naught.
Yeah, absolutely smothered.
I mean, Kalantine and Pancata cracked the site wide open.
This guy's in your spawn already, all the way pushed up Snowman. Gets the kill anyways. Through the Harbor wall. He's not slowing down whatsoever. He looks so crispy. Even his crosshair positioning, his awareness is so on point right now. He's gonna get it. Oh my gosh, one more. Yep. 3K for Pancata.
The guy is ascending. It's ridiculous.
Dude, he looked so rough when he first got back onto this roster, but now, I mean, he's fully adjusted back onto the stage. He's looking great. He's looking greater than ever, honestly.
He's back. He is back. 3-0 for Pancata, who had what felt like, I don't know, 2,000 kills in map 1. And he's just continuing to push the pace, man.
He basically killed both of these players in Snowman with barely seeing them.
Dude, that's the smirk of someone who knows.
Yeah. He's so chill about it too, isn't he?
3 rifles, 2 pistols on the attacking side. FURIA. Somehow we're going to have to get rid of the sour taste that Haven left in their mouth and do so quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, as much as you have talks about it amongst yourselves backstage and everything, it's so hard to get out of that in the moment.
Oh, yeah. You don't just forget it.
Gosh, MW0, I mean, doesn't have to worry about any killjoy utility on his flank whatsoever, so he might actually get a lot of value right here. He's finding the window of opportunity, the timing. Maybe Les has heard him now.
Or he's just going to go back to drop the alarm bot, but it might be too little too late. Oh no, he's called for reinforcements. Kalantine is with him, but MW has slipped the net.
Look at Pancata though.
2, 3. He spotted them all. Gets 2, gets all 3, spots the 4th, not able to land the shot. MW again making a mess of the situation. How did Nosmer and Khalil try to crawl this thing and drag it over the finish line. They just can't. Kalamzin gets both. There was a moment of concern, but it settles.
That was ridiculous, by the way, from MW. I very rarely see players get all three, especially with a Sheriff in a position like this.
Yeah.
Usually the bullet inaccuracy after the reset doesn't connect. Like that third shot right there, usually that's the one that just goes far right or far left, somewhere off your screen.
And there was a little bit of help. Nazar had weakened him up. It only took one body shot, but honestly, you can't tell that on the stats, so it's all good. 3-2 for MW. FURIA now with weapons. And Loud, because of how messy that was, because of MW's antics, only able to carry 3 rifles into this.
Yeah, 2Es and Pancata, the ones that are sitting on the Sheriffs. Khalil almost gets his head taken off. He will be able to get out of here. It will be the never-ending cycle of utility to control the default of the bomb plant. They still need to break these Killjoy mollies.
Dude, how do you deal with all of this? How do you deal with the Harbor Wall, with the Cascade, with the Omen Smoke, with the Dizzy Flash? Like, how do you deal with everything that Loud are throwing you at you?
You just have an amazing anchor like Havoc, who's picked up 2 already. That's one way to do it.
Keep an eye on Les. He's on the prowl again. He's on the hunt.
He's completely unseen, unscathed. What a one-tap from Sadhak. Oh my goodness.
He's going to get them all, isn't he? He spots Khalil, swings out to try to deal with Nazar, but he can't. Meanwhile, Janji has gotten the defuse to half, but can they get it much further? Nazar with 3 in the round for FURIA.
A good bonus, though, considering the fact that Havoc got 2 in the beginning of that round. They brought it down to 2v2 at the end. Couldn't close it out, but a lot of damage done for Loud. So now the economy is in their favor, and it's going to be some players on light armor for certain on the side of FURIA. Yeah. This was a beautiful one-time.
Yeah, that shot was pretty. Sadhak the duelist, man.
Gecko tends to be like a pseudo-duelist on a map like this, where you just throw your util.
And then you go fight.
Yeah, throw a little guy down and get in the mix yourself. And even if he drops early, I mean, he's been able to mid-round so well once he's dead anyway. I think the stat from last time was, or the last map was what? They won, what was the percentage of the 4v5s?
50% of their 4v5s.
Yeah, they won.
Should never get away with that.
That's obnoxious. That's a crazy stat. I mean, even you were saying it, like 30 is like good.
To be able to get away with that many, it just feels wrong.
Right there. Yeah, you win half the rounds, you're down a number. That's a sign of a good team for sure.
So again, the utility heads out towards B. Khalil has to take a step back.
And notably at a different timing than the rest of the rounds. This one really delayed.
That's a very different Harbor Wall too. Oftentimes they're so much further up long, and they're doing it to block off anything coming in from Snowman and mid. That's a very different look, and it seems like Havoc might be ahead of it and ready for it, but I don't know that he's going to catch the timing, spotting a couple though.
Oof. Almost gets spammed. Gets taken to at least half health, but the speed up A, yeah, you're 100% correct. That Harbor Wall didn't really do Loud any justice in this round, and that Thrash isn't doing much justice either.
They handle the crosshair better than the Thrash, I guess. The flashback sight. A couple of kills going the way of FURIA. And there's still plenty more presence to join the fray, but it's off site. If they can hold them back by their own, it's not going to matter. Les left alone, a 1v2. Les, who's just been a freak for this team, trying to spam down MW and gets him, but the counter punch, the sucker punch of Khalil is just too much.
Yeah, Les taking a little bit too long to connect those shots on the NW Zera on top site. That buys enough time for Khalil to just get in there, get the side of the head, like you said. And yeah, it looked a lot like pretty sloppy for Loud on the actual execute. The utility wasn't on point. People were body blocking the Thrash. When we're trying to entry into the actual site, we Omen flashed one of our own teammates. So yeah, it just kind of crumbled on the actual entry.
And to be honest, I thought they were going to rotate back B. After Havoc saw everything that was crossing mid, they still had 45 seconds left on the round.
Yeah, I think the whole plan was just to brute force their way in with the ultimate that they had with that Thrash, but when it got basically body blocked, it was just over at that point. So now it will be a scrappy buy from the side of Loud, an eco round. Upgrade on the rifle. MW can't connect on this one.
Les already down. Pancata perched up. The drone's going to spot him. Has to give the position away. And that's actually 2 that are being spotted off of that drone.
Yeah, supporting the teammates. Oh, almost an opportunity for Tui's to get a kill, but he actually gets obliterated by Havoc, who was holding that little off angle with the Guardian.
There's nothing you can really punch back with here. It's still 3 Sheriffs that are up and stand for Loud.
Yeah, and just now, I looked at the mini-map. Noswer, he's now aware that there could be somebody close up on A. Does he clear out Kawanzin here, though? That's the question. Somebody surely does.
He's in a 1 and done.
Yeah, he's going to get traded here, surely, unless he connects some miracle shots right now. Ooh, that's 1! That's 2! Pancata with the 3rd in heaven. Now it's a 2v2. A chance for Loud. This Thrifty would be full momentum back.
Blades
in their hands.
Blades popped MW. He's not spotting him. Really nice flash, but the right click is too good. Pancata should be able to hold this. He's in a 1v2, and it's planted for him, but he doesn't have any armor. Khalil's going to be pushing him. He knows he's got to deal with that fight first! Pancata gets them all. The Red Bull clutch for Loud.
Not slowing down whatsoever. Pancata's here, and he is back, ready to play. 9 and 3. This is why they made the swap. He's a duelist on this Omen right now.
I mean, I told you guys that was a 2 and done. I mean, that's just unreal that he gets both, man.
Yeah, it's the spacing from FURIA. No one there to get that trade. Usually, you see players gear up. One gets close, goes all the way wide, while one actually will just peek on a dot. But they were just so disconnected on that swing. The fundamentals are being lost right now from the side of FURIA.
That felt like a lot of the issue as we closed out Haven, right? The fundies were gone.
Yep. Right, what was that? A 5v3?
I think so.
It's obnoxious.
Not as devastating as the last, but it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, 5v3 against mainly Sheriffs. Pancata had the only rifle, and now...
And that was picked up.
Yeah. Now momentum is just not in your favor. You're not clearing close angles. Less is...
Oh, he didn't see him. He didn't see him. Okay, there we go.
It's because he plays on left-hand view model, but it doesn't matter. He still connects on both. But yeah, his gun was missing.
Yeah, it was blocking.
On our point of view, it may look like Les was just so unaware looking at his mini-map, but he plays left-handed in his point of view, so that's why he wasn't able to see him. Should be an easy cleanup to the round. Loud, they've cleaned it up big time. Say that, but MW. Man, what is up with these players in the Sheriff lately?
We're just gonna have more of these, huh?
This is crazy. That's how high the mechanical skill is between, honestly, most of these players in VCT.
Khalil has the Sheriff, and if this map has taught us anything, is that it's winnable. A 1v2, no armor, though. And the spike planted. What does Khalil do here? Can he upgrade a weapon? Is there anything that he can find as an advantage?
I'll tell you what, he has an orb, but he has to bait out this KO Molly somehow if he wants a chance. Oh, he has no juice either. Yeah, this is going to be nearly impossible. I imagine a 3-2-1 will happen on the next tap.
No time, no fuel,
yeah,
no weaponry, no teammates, no shot. Kalantin cleans it up. Loud gets a 4. He's got his ult online. 2E's 1 away from the Reckoning.
That's how you swing together to close out a 2v1. Yeah, there you go. It was his gun that was blocking the initial walk-in from Shanji. Oh, those were beautiful shots. That's one of the best feelings. But that instant trade from Les, that is so quick. Like, the window of opportunity to hit that shot, it's so hard to hit that.
I'll shut down Killjoy's attack.
They have 3 ults to play around on the attack. And op in the hands of MW, though, and it seems like there is some presence B.
These ults are really good to deal against an operator. Oh, I say that, but that break of the dagger makes it so MW can get out of dodge, and the follow-up. Sova ultimate, the headhunter connected as well. What a nice setup.
It's a brutal trap. I mean, you've got an op up close, and then, as you mentioned, the Hunter's Fury from a distance.
Whoa.
This is a really nice response from FURIA.
Last player standing.
Yeah, across the board right now. Every lane getting stomped out, getting shut down. How many times have we seen this guy on his lonesome? Hey, he pulled off a 1v4. Can he do a 1v5? He does have the spike in hand. If he gets 4, he gets that ultimate online. There's no way FURIA let him get away with this one. There's no way.
No, I don't think so.
I say this, but he might take out Havoc. Oh my goodness.
Being careful with it. Khalil on the swing. It's a flawless round from FURIA. And again, the trap setup that they had was really nice. As soon as the dagger gets cleared, MW is able to punish with the op. They understand there's more than one. Nagwar ults from a distance, and he's able to grab a couple as well.
Yeah, seriously, that dagger being broken, that was the clear victory right there, because that allows MW0 to take that aggressive angle, take that shot, dash out right away, and then yeah, the follow-up with that Hunter's Fury. Icing on the cake at that moment of time. So it is FURIA closing the gap just a bit, stopping the bleeding. At least right now. No ults were able to be used by Loud because of that disruption from FURIA. So FURIA did a really good job in that last round, and now they're able to get that Killjoy ultimate for themselves as well. Res available too.
That's the same wall that they used a couple of rounds ago, but this time there's no one there to see it. All of FURIA's mid. The op in the hands of MW, who's still playing back A, but a heavy presence from the defensive side.
Yeah, very interesting approach to this round, but now with having all that mid info, they're able to deduct that it's probably a lean towards B. That's why you see 3 players geared and ready, kind of slowly clearing space in front of them, but everyone from Loud is going towards A side.
It's a big position for Havoc. The smoke comes up at just the right time. Oh, he might get it anyway.
Jeez. How many times Havoc plays in an aggressive angle when he has that Killjoy ultimate available?
It's kind of crazy.
Beyond me.
Yeah, and it's always a pixel. Somehow he always takes a little bit more damage than he should. MW not able to land the shot with the op. With 40 seconds left, they commit to getting this lockdown through. And I don't know that there's going to be enough to challenge us out, so they're going to get away. Sadok's going to get caught. No real place to go. But the remaining members of Loud have given up a lot of this space. MW is going aggressive with the op in hand, trying to take some of this space away as less. Up top, looking for any target he can find. A little bit of damage has been dealt. The swing up from Tui's. He's going to get 2. Is this another mess? Another disastrous. Khalil can't settle onto Tui's. MW with the op has to defuse in a 1v2. Borderline impossible. He's gotten it to half, and Tui's gets 4.
Amazing shots from the players of Loud, but it's again FURIA throwing number advantage. It's just so rough to watch right now. Some of these rounds, they set it up for themselves so beautifully. A 5v3 again. 5v2 actually.
And
but these moments, they just slip away from them. They allow too many 1v1 fights across the board.
Those 4 kills that Tui's just landed in that round to secure things for Loud were the first 4 of the map for him, and they couldn't have come at a better time.
This is what I've been saying time and time again. You cannot be giving Loud these opportunities because they will run away with it. When they get the momentum in their favor, it seems like it's a wrap. All of a sudden, they all start firing at all cylinders. The fundamentals are still there. You give time for these individuals to heat up like Tui's, like we just saw. Now he's solo winning rounds that shouldn't be won. I think a big part of that victory was MW0 getting a little bit too over-eager, too overconfident in that angle. Yeah, he drops into that smoke with an operator. If someone's in that smoke, he could even drop right then and there.
Yeah.
So he's playing very overconfident right now. Makes sense because he's sitting at 10 kills. He's top fragging on the scoreboard right now, and he's not playing against a duelist on the other side. So he feels like he needs to take things into his own hands and do it. But imagine he had just posted heaven for his squad right there while they're trying to defuse that bomb. He probably kills less in that spot.
Yeah, instead of forcing the matter, I believe it was Athena who was saying it on the desk, although I'm still bitter about her beef with my top 5 list. It feels like sometimes he's just throwing his life away, right? Sometimes it feels like it's a little bit too forced. And that might be part of the conversation the next time we head back to the desk. Loud with the 2-round lead on the other side of this timeout. What adjustments do FURIA make? Op still in the hands of MW. Shanji has his ult online. But I don't think Loud are going to give them much room to breathe. The harbor wall goes up, the thrash goes out. It clears so much space.
Gosh.
It's actually really aggressive. It doesn't look back for him to be able to scoop it up, but it did its job.
Kawan Zine ran in like a madman there just to clear yellow, but it does get the spike planted. Shanji gets a spam kill on the Pancata. That's a good player that you want to take out.
3v5. Spike planted, though.
No way they do this again. There's no way they do this again, Doug.
Is there anything to clear the lockdown?
No, there shouldn't be. But that Molly is really good on yellow.
That hurts. Note, Tui's the only controller who's up, and there's no utility to play around here. So the lockdown will buy a lot of time. And now it's all onto the guns. Tui's falls. The shock dart gets the best of him. Sadak much dangerous position as well, as he's going to fall wrapped around by Havoc, as Havoc gets the third on the round. The round will go the way of FURIA with this defuse, and the gap comes down to 1.
Yeah, no 5v3 this time around. FURIA learning from their mistake from the previous round. And it was a good coordinated retake. The utility was on point, flushing players out at that yellow box. And then, yeah, the solo wraparound from Havoc amongst all that chaos and commotion because of that Sage wall. He's able to just get some free kills. Giving a little left hook right there.
2 of the last 3 going the way of FURIA, and it seemed like, I was concerned because you mentioned they've been able to stop the bleeding. It felt like a band-aid. It didn't feel like the wound had been dealt with. But that might be changing here. If they're able to kind of keep some of this up, if they can continue to get in these big numbers advantage situations and rest on the fundies, they should be able to get this thing back.
Yeah, seriously. That's the main thing. They don't even have to overcook it. You're already doing the hard part. Getting those initial first bloods, that's like one of the hardest parts of the game.
That's half the battle. But again, I'm reminded of the stat we were talking about earlier. 6 of the 12 times that Loud were down in numbers, they won the round.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's already been happening. It's already been happening in this map too.
If they can shore that up, FURIA might have something on their hands. And even despite all of that, they're still in this fight. A different harbor wall again, this time intended for you to scale all the way up towards Snowman. Khalil is waiting back there, though. Is there anything to help? That crosswalk, just too much. Kalanzine falls. It's a 1-for-1. Khalil Dink still on the swing, still getting the best of Pankata.
I got you.
Once again, numbers the way of FURIA. The spike planted, though. Wall goes up, the res will come through to make things just a little bit more difficult for the attack. No ults this time to speak of. No lockdowns, no reckonings, nothing like that. And look at how weak Sadak is already. Les has to be able to provide some value here. He's going to have to do it on his own. Sadak with 35 HP, forced to take the fight. He's only able to get one because of it. Gun barrel spotted. But a really nice snap from Shanji to get the round for FURIA.
Down to the wire.
Oh,
wow. Not as close as some other diffuses we've seen, but still. That's the difference between 1 Molly. Had Les committed that second Molly, maybe they win that round just off of time alone. I do like the res option here. I like that we made it a 4v2. Had that not came out, who knows? Maybe Loud steal this one away. Extra man can give you the confidence to speed things up.
So FURIA right back in the thick of things here. We're tied at 5 apiece. An op for the duelists. Loud with the lean towards B. On a weird buy, too. 2 rifles.
Wow, that's such a cheeky little set play to take control of the initial B space.
And the orb for Sadak, yeah.
That Gecko Eye doesn't seem like you can actually see it, but it still tags you right like on the top line of that harbor wall, of that cascade.
He popped his blades.
Trying to get a re-clear on yellow.
Yeah, tries to get some high ground. And does so, and manages to get info because of it. Oh! Yeah. Well, Les was so far up by himself.
That was a super important kill.
Careful.
A round defining kill, you could say. And now, Noswar, he's kind of stuck back sight right now. A lot of the members have to back up.
Attack 2.
Yeah.
MW and Noswar both got caught.
Ooh.
But it's Kalanzine who will fall because of it. Sadak gets a plant down. Again. How did FURIA get through this? We questioned the blades at the beginning, but that might be exactly what they needed as Havoc pushes forward. MW with him, trying to take some of the space away. Havoc with 3 on the round. The 4th just around the corner will fall. Tui's left alone, a 1v2. You had to take a look at him. He's gonna spot it, only getting it down to a little bit of health, but not enough to get the kill. So Khalil and the rest of FURIA hold the line. They take the lead back.
I gotta see how Enzine died in this last round. Was Havoc pushed up in front of that wall? No, it was this little weird angle. That's such an impressive shot for Havoc to hit. And speaking of a player who, you know, came into this league and he had such a ugly performance, I think everybody will remember that.
Yeah, we remember his debut.
But to see him now sitting at 13-7, that's such an amazing thing to see. Silencing all the haters, showing that he does deserve to be here.
Last round of the half. Khalil taking space already with a little bit of help. Oh, he's coming up really far.
It's the first time they've done something like this, and he's gonna get it.
Sadak stays alive for a little bit, but Khalil on the second effort is able to clean him up. Where do they go from here? Pankata tried clearing up towards 2, trying to get it up towards Kitchen. Kawanzine not able to land the shots. Furia now with the numbers advantage. Stop me if you've heard this before. But they've got Tui's ult. They've got Pankata's ult too. Both of those are intended to introduce chaos into a situation.
Yeah, this is going to be a fight for sight. There's that Harbor ult invested.
A reckoning. A recommendation to reposition. You see the wisps. You see the info gathered. And now a lockdown in exchange. Havoc dropping his ult. Kawanzine, what's your play here, big guy? He's going to get one. He's going to get caught, but he's done his damage. They've got to know where he is. They're going to spot him. Hunting him down. Loud down in numbers, but in a position to win the round yet. There's so much utility left around this. Les doing such a good job of popping the nanos at just the right time to dissuade and keep them back. On the swing now, spotting Nalsper as the wall goes up. It's got to get cleared out. It has to happen very quickly. Shonda's gotten it to half. A little bit more spam coming through, and he's going to stick it the whole way. They've done such a good job of playing around that sage wall to stick defuses. Furia get to 7.
Switching sides.
Yeah, this time around, the wall not being broken by the spam of Loud and the counter spam from the side of Furia, it was on point. Les got tagged by that dart, so they're aware he was the only one there. And yeah, the discipline was the difference maker this time around. Oh, that's how Les dies?
A pen through a box.
Wow. I thought it was one of the players that was default.
No, you just drop a couple and see if they'll connect. They did that time. We're going to throw it down to the desk to break down that first half. It's a good fight so far.
Yes, indeed. It is a good fight so far. Doug on the call and Baby Bay. Now, I think Furia is still in this, Athena. Like, we were talking about MW0 earlier. I think he's worthy of being talked about even some more.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing great. I mean, look at these plays that he's been doing. He's been getting a lot of ones for his team, Wyatt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, early on, some of these kills, they didn't actually convert into round wins, but they kept the economy super honest for Loud. So as the game dragged on, they were actually able to win the huge majority of the gun rounds. It was like 6 for 1 on the gun rounds or 5 for 1 on the gun rounds, which is really significant by the end of the half. And MW's early momentum, those kills kind of carried them into that situation.
I feel like he just wasn't afraid to kind of go for the aggressive, like, early lines. He was really good even on the retakes. It felt like a lot of the time we were just watching Retake Simulator, but it worked out really well in their favor. I mean, their retakes were great. Big icebox moment.
They were great.
They were great. Their retakes were good. They were clean. For the most part, we could always count on each of these players. And even Havoc towards the end, he was getting multi-frag after multi-frag, just constantly keeping it up. And so it was just so hard for them to contest any of Furia's retakes towards the end.
Absolutely. So are we still thinking that Furia's in this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was far more impressed with them in that half than Loud, even though the score line is so tight, just because of their consistent great play on the gun rounds. Again, on this map, they're just displaying better team play than on the other ones. Look at the way that they scale together back into those sites on the retakes. Like MW going forward, Havoc is right behind him, getting trade after trade. It's just so nice.
Yeah, MW did such a good job at pulling crosshairs away as well. So all the retakes were just phenomenal.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to get the second half underway and toss things back to your casters.
Thank you so much, Akeem. Furia up 2 rounds. They win 4 to close out that first half, and now we'll see what Loud can do to respond as they find themselves down. Not something that we've seen super often. Again, FURIA have never won a map against Loud, but they're knocking on it here.
Yeah, it's such a similar story to the last map. Wow, Sadhak gets taken very low off of that normal default Killjoy Molly.
Surprising how much value he was able to get out of it, you're right.
While all this is happening, there's a slow walk, B main, 2Es. Gets out unscathed, but there should be a free spike to be planted.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the value of Sage.
Yeah, especially in pistols, man. It takes so long to clear that thing. You're just kind of forced to sit on the other side of it. I think the one thing maybe worth keeping in mind is that it was dropped so early. We'll see if that becomes a factor here. Shanji is in such a good position. One of the panels finally cleared. Some of the Harbor utility coming through, and a couple of bullets between the eyes of Loud. Such a good spot to be in. Less just dropping from the top rope and landing on top of him. Numbers still the way of FURIA, though. Pancada's in a decent position. Less not really in a bad spot either. They're going to be able to get this unless Khalil does something about it, but Pancada didn't see him. He is going to try to stick it, but Khalil and Havoc saved the day for FURIA.
Woo! Take a breather for a moment. That was getting down to the wire. I thought Les was going to have that in the bag. Pancada losing that 1v1 was the end of it all. And a nice pistol round. Shanji, he came up huge here. Yeah, that third kill is on accident, but he'll take it. 3 to his name in that round. And now he's already working towards a res of his own. 4 more orbs and he'll have that. A great possibility he has it up for the bonus. Will be a 4-1 approach, taking B main control.
What's Cohen's doing with a Bucky? What's going on here?
Bucky on this map. Maybe he's trying to deal with Shanji on that close Sage wall. That's the only thing I can think of right now. But we'll see.
3 facing here.
Ooh.
Sadhak the first. I don't think they spotted any of the others, but now as the Harbor wall goes out, you understand there's more presence.
Yeah, now for FURIA, you have to freeze, you have to reset. Not a lot of space was taken towards A, but it's gonna be a 4v5 execute onto the A site.
They're ahead of this. And the Bucky's close.
Yeah, the Bucky could be really deadly here. And also that Sheriff fly. Oh my gosh, that's just a spam. That's ridiculous.
MW continues to be so good. Cowanzine trying to play his time and play his position as best as he can. Now they know. Oh, they should know. But it's so bad from so far away. That thing it does nothing. It tickles.
Any other weapon in that moment would have been great. A classic would have been great. Yeah. Maybe he gets both. Who knows? The classic in its own right can be a Bucky at times.
Don't give them time to reposition.
Saw what Shanji was able to do.
FURIA get to 9. Now Loud will be able to respond with rifles. You take a look at a couple of those plays. Again, there's that spam you were talking about. 2Es gives just a little shoulder, man. Just shows a little skin, and that's all it takes.
It's obliterated. It's a very healthy buy as well from this side of FURIA. So this bonus round, they have a really good opportunity to get this res somewhere.
I mean, they've got 5 rifles.
Yep.
This is a gun round.
Straight up. 2Es does get that orb cycled onto him, and he's playing really far up forward here. Him and Sadhak.
Hey, he's got a little help over the top.
They want all the smoke right now.
They're going to get it. They're all here. Sadhak cautious with their timing. Both spotted, both found. Where's 2Es and all that?
You will not kill
That's
my
ridiculous,
ally.
but the trade right there and the res coming out onto MW. Now it's a 4v4.
Yeah, but I think part of the problem here is for FURIA is you haven't taken much space anywhere else. So yes, the wall goes up. Yes, the res comes through, but what's the response off of that?
And you have to, yeah.
Pancada's taken a lot of space down B long, and you still have a lot of Killjoy utility mid.
I was going to say you have to re-clear out Pancada, but there's no drone or dart to do so, so you just face check right now. Oh my gosh!
Or Khalil just is better in that instance. Les really nicely timing the spam into the smoke. MW try taking a little bit as Nosler gets active, drops Cowanzine.
Dude, he's been so good in the last 2 rounds. The follow-up round right now.
30 seconds
spot
left.
They've got to understand he's there. Really nice footwork from Nosler, but it was not enough to get the kill.
Spike planted.
I thought he was going to win that.
I thought so too. A 2v2 now. 2E's down to 40 HP. The swing out.
barrel almost seen from less. Does he hard clear this angle?
No,
This box
he can't. I mean, he can't. There was no way to know that he was there. So many different things you have to check, and really just not enough time to do it all.
Yeah, he thought he had a timing. His teammate wasn't close by. Tried to take it up upon himself to win the round. But FURIA, too disciplined, too steady. Shanji, he's heating up right now.
3 in the round for the Sage as FURIA get to 10. This feels a lot more confident than what we saw in Haven. They've won 7 rounds in a row going into the last half.
Maybe being on the attacking side is what they needed in order to close out the map. Able to have full pace amongst themselves. A little sidestep from 2Es, that was clean, but this repositioning from Shanji, that was clean. Getting the res as well. He's 15-9. 2 players of FURIA sitting at 15-9. Almost a third.
Loud call a timeout here. Again, they're down 5. The money doesn't look great, given what we just saw in the previous round, so there's a good chance they're going to be on an Eco Dre. What sort of adjustments do we need to see out from Loud here?
I think there needs to be more disruption together as a unit. Yeah, you're not running a duelist, but you still have this double flash setup that you can use towards A. Try to catch anybody off guard, try to catch out a lurk, and the worst case scenario is you know that the other team will try to speed up B after you blowing all that utility, but you have so much delay on the other side of the map. You've got Pankata there with the Omen Flash. You've got Killjoy Mollies if need be. And I imagine the retake that Loud have towards that B side of the map in an even number scenario would probably look quite nice. It's just they haven't been able to be in a spot where they can actually use those fundamentals to rely on. It kind of feels like they're just losing a lot of the first engagements with the actual anchors that they have on the sites. Pistol round was really the only round where it was like a retake. 5v5-ish.
Yep. You're absolutely right. You see the buy for Loud, not great. A Bucky for Kalanzine again.
And I wonder if that timeout is to actually set up a fight A for the next round. That's why you see that cascade coming out. Nothing to follow up this time. Ooh, I say that unless he takes the head off of Havoc.
With light armor and a Sheriff, hasn't taken any damage, but gets the kill he was looking for. FURIA still have taken a lot of this space here. They should be able to get the spike down.
Plant the spike.
So worried. That harbor wall putting doubt in the minds of FURIA. A smart decision from FURIA to do a close plant. We've seen Loud lose rounds like this, where they get the spike down and they play out.
It really seems like FURIA would be able to avoid that, though. Again, the Bucky not able to deal lethality, but Les plucks him out of the sky.
Yeah, he's not messing around right now, and that Bucky gets value as well. No connection there from Les.
Settle. Kalanzine has upgraded a weapon, but Khalil has gotten one. He's left alone. A 1v1. He's so weak. 67 HP, and Kalanzine is a hero again for Loud. Another round that had no business going the way of Loud.
It was so scrappy, but when Loud win rounds like this, they tend to win more in succession. I think this is a good moment for FURIA to slow things down and do a timeout and get their bearings.
What a shot from Les on MW, man. And what a hold from Kalanzine.
Ridiculous 1v1.
That's the second eco win for Loud this map. I want to go back to the conversation we were having earlier. Like we've had all series, you give Loud an inch, you just give them the tiniest of windows, and they kick the damn thing open.
Completely open. That dagger connects on 3 on purpose, by the way. This is all on purpose. They got hit by that dagger. They stepped into it. And this is all to speed up on A. A really good call right now from the side of FURIA.
Havoc was so far ahead of it, you're right. He had already gotten up to 410 when the tag hit. And so yeah, Les is going to fill in across the middle of the map, but there's not going to be anyone there. The one benefit, though, is look at the ults on the side of the defense.
Just so many ults online.
And they're big ones. Sadok's been tagged. Sadok's been caught. Oh, he dodges the second, and he will inevitably dodge the third. So he stays alive. A second lease at life.
And this is a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario right now. If you play in, the Harbor ult will get value. If you play out, the Killjoy ult will get value.
They're flooding so fast. They've invested the Thrash. They've invested the Reckoning. Keep an eye on Nazra on the minimap. He's going to be on a late flank. The alarm bot's gonna give him away though, and you've got Pancata who's gonna be on the late rotate through, so he knows he's there. Meanwhile, across the site, Kamatine has already gotten it to half. At least Wingman did. He's gonna try to stick it. No, he's gonna die to the molly.
Enemy remaining.
Sodok's in a 1v3. This round should have gone the way of Loud, but what a response from FURIA.
It was pandemonium on the actual site. Loud, they had the advantage at first, using that Thrash, using that Harbor ult to actually get in, but they just couldn't solidify.
I thought the Flood was gonna be so good.
It was in the beginning, it just fell apart for them. So FURIA answering back, and that was off a good macro. That was a great setup for the whole round. It was basically a free site hit. And dealing with the adversity of the ults that they had to go up against, they did a great job, a phenomenal job. They got out, what, 4 ults? 3 ults? They got out 3 ults from Loud and won that round. All they invested was a Hunter's Fury of their own. So now, I mean, viewers can't see it, but the ult economy of FURIA, it's building like crazy. We're about to have another res. We're 2 off of the lockdown. We have jet knives available already. And worst case scenario, if need be, in a couple rounds, you're gonna have that Viper's Pit available. Loud are in a real bad spot right now, and they're gonna need to steal this round away.
We'll see if they can pull it off. FURIA, a big difference here from what we saw in Haven is towards the end of the map, they got pushed and they snapped. I mean, they crumbled. But the response here from FURIA was really nice. In all of those ults that you mentioned, given the really nice positioning that Loud had, the timing on the Flood was so good. But this time they weather the storm.
Yeah, and they finally answered back after a big moment from Loud. I think that's the biggest takeaway from that round.
Yeah.
They got thriftied and won the following round. That was something they weren't able to do on the last map. This could have been a 2-0 already. And it's not over yet, don't get me wrong, but I think FURIA is in the driver's seat for sure this time around. If they get thriftied again, I will lose it.
It would be the third, if they can pull it off. This time, no Bucky.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
He's gotten one.
No way it's happening.
Really good. Kawanzin gets one. He's gonna get a second. Can they scoop it up? Noswer on the counter.
I have the
Kawanzin very patiently playing his way around the box. The molly goes through. Attempt for the swing. And now the flash, it's going to be far more effective. The drone is cleared out instantly. Meanwhile, Les starting to take a lot of the space away, but he's thinking twice about it. Now getting back towards B, joining up with Kawanzin. As silence settles across the map.
So tense right now for both sides. They understand how important this round is. FURIA most of all. They understand that if they give this away at 11 rounds again, it's going to be flashbacks, nightmares of what happened on that last map.
Finally, some noise is made as the tap, the spike comes through.
Yeah.
The dart a little early. Do they realize that? It's going to be a weapon upgraded for less, and he still has light armor.
They're taking way too long right now, but they're wise to flip.
Is there going to be enough time for this?
I think they have a good idea that there is a flank inbound. Oh, the timing is right there!
Kawanzin with 3. Havoc's going to have to do it on his own, and he can't! 4 for Kawanzin.
He's the thrifty master.
Thrifty.
Oh my goodness. Is it gonna happen again? It was scrappy, Pancata. Yeah, he settled, but it was this man right here. Oh my goodness, this is so crazy what we're all witnessing here. FURIA put themselves in such a good spot, and then they just throw it all away.
They're still up.
Still a lot to work with.
Yeah, they're still up pretty considerably.
But
that losing this round could have notable implications on the rest of this half, though. Their money's not great.
Right there.
MW has the knives and a Bucky available for him. Early tag on a Sod Hawk. He gets out of dodge. Doesn't take any chip damage or anything of the sort.
A lockdown invested from Havoc.
Yeah, that's a deep lockdown as well on 410, so that will give all of the site.
What do they do with the space and the time they have, though? Ooh. I thought Sonic was going to get caught. Now they go. The wall goes up, the spike goes down, the space is filled. Furia in a really nice spot here.
Yeah, and that one jet smoke delayed the retake from Heaven, so that allows MW to reposition behind the Sage Wall, and he's gonna get one, a second! Almost gets a third on the Les.
Les chopping him down though. Pankata's so far away from the play. Dropping a smoke, doing the best he can, but his absence is so sorely felt. The dart cleared, but Tui's still lit up. Noswer not able to clean him up with it. As Les pushes forward, he's got an op.
There's a res though. It's not halved.
Giving numbers back the way of the attack. Oh, that got so messy. Oh, that got so messy. Furia gets to map point.
Havoc in these post plants, he understands how important it is. He's that guy right now to just run it down, see if there's anyone on the spike. In this case, didn't really need to, but it was this man right here, MW, who basically set that round up for his team to close it out. That one jet smoke onto Heaven delayed those players from flooding out with that Gecko flash, and it bought him enough time to reposition and get 2 in the round. Micro things like that make a difference in a game like this.
And honestly, those micro things are likely what's led to Furia being up 8-1 on gun rounds.
That's an obnoxious stat.
I mean, the only reason Loud are in this fight is because of the Thrifties.
Really good dagger to...
Les is already dead at the hands of Havoc. Kawanzin trying to fill in on the space, and he might fall to him too.
Can't settle, but he does push off Havoc. Man advantage for Furia. We've said this so many times in this series.
But I think the massive difference here is they're closing it out this time.
Yeah, it feels like they are. The spacing might be too big of a gap here. MW playing with fire here. Oh, that's beautiful. What a connection on the 2 members.
Can it find another though? Can it get any other tag? Kawanzin falls. Still 3 up for the defense. Meanwhile, it's just Noswer.
It all just falls apart so quickly, Doug.
As soon as they got a couple of kills, as soon as they invested the ults, everything around them crumbles.
I have the spike.
And so Noswer's going to be able to scoop up the spike, try to rotate away.
There's an operator to be met right here. If he can dodge this shot, maybe a jiggle.
30 seconds
the barrel!
left.
Oh, too easy for Pankata in that moment. They're still in it. It's 12-8. Pankata closes out that round.
Going to carry that op into the next round too. But if things continue to go back and forth the way they have, I mean, Furia should be able to close this. I think for Loud, if they want to close this out, if they want to get a 2-0, if they want to keep the streak up against Furia, they've got to find a lot of momentum here.
Yeah, you got to win the rounds. You got to win them clean. They have a lot of ults that are building up right now. They have an opportunity to bring this back and make it go into OT.
One way a little bit too low. See a knife tagging a couple of members,
Yeah, that's another good knife.
Pankata with a lot of pressure here. Remember, he's got the op and it goes wide right.
Oh, he's sticking around for a little bit too long. He might get punished here. He's going to get swung by 3 members very shortly. Tui's on the opposite side of the map, takes out Havoc.
That's 2 shots delivered and none connected. So he takes a little bit of space back. Takes a step away. But of course, he double, triple dips.
Spike planted.
The fact that they know the op is here now, the fact that they know where the resistance is coming from, Furia navigate around this beautifully.
Yeah, they got to commit ults on this round, even though it's a thrifty round.
Right.
From the side of Furia, you don't want to lose a round like this.
I mean, you can't afford to lose a round like that.
Yeah, easy pick'ems for the side of Loud playing, the discipline, fundamentally sound retake against the post plan of Furia. Yeah, it was only sheriffs online for Furia, but still, better safe than sorry. A round win is a round win.
And to be able to do so while keeping 2 of those ults up. You mentioned at the beginning that they had a couple coming online. All they invested was 2 E's.
Yeah, now they have Thrash. They have the KO ultimate available. And on the opposite end, it's just that Viper's Pit. But the Viper's Pit is so deadly. And it's kind of going to have to force Sadhak to hold on to that Thrash. That's like the main counter with their composition right now against that Viper's Pit. Now that you don't have that Harbor ultimate anymore. And it's a change of pace. Aggression on A. But he gets revealed. Pankata has to dip out.
Fury slowing things down here for just a little bit. You mentioned Khalil's ult. Where does he choose to invest it? Les has an op holding across the middle of the map. 2E spotting one. Giving the space away. The cascade is so hard to get a good angle on from that position. The second one far more effective, but they've given him safe passage to back yellow. Can they plan around this? They've invested the Thrash from this distance?
So early. I think he's just going to bring it back to himself. Yep.
Yeah,
have it for the second wave. And while that's all happening, it was a transfer of the op and a rifle to Les to Pancata. Pancata gets a free kill on top yellow. NW Zera, he gets caught lacking, but that's a free A site. Numbers still the way of Loud. Is it enough though?
They have all those ults too. I mean, they still have Kalanzines. They have a second run at Sadok's. Havoc's falling. This is becoming a mess. I don't know that FURIA can stand up to this, and they're not going to do it this round. That's a flawless one as Loud gets to 10. The pressure's building.
And you can tell in the game, you can tell by the way FURIA are even moving around, the way that they're aiming now. It's getting to them. They know they're on the precipice of a victory, the first ever map win against Loud. And it's so much pressure on them now, a team that really doesn't have much pressure at all in this stage. Yeah, there's still hopes of playoffs on the line, but there's such a new squad, new players in the mix. They weren't going into this stage too thinking, oh yeah, we're making playoffs for sure. But Loud were.
I think they still have a shot at it. There's just still life, and yes, the probability is outrageously small, but it is there. And you see FURIA, I mean, they're not strolling their way through this. They're not taking it passively. They're not taking it lackadaisically. They're giving Loud everything that they can handle. But I want to call back to something that Athena was saying on the desk, is this idea of playing not to lose versus playing to win. FURIA, once again, find themselves within striking distance of a map. They crumbled on Haven. Will it happen again on Icebox?
I mean, this next round, they're going to be on a bad bye. Guardian, the saving grace, if need be. But everyone else sitting at light armor, some sheriffs on the board. Who knows? If they're able to get the first blood, we've seen some crazier things happen.
But a lot of thrifties here, but they've mainly been coming from the side of Loud. We mentioned it earlier, 3 of them, and those are the reason that Loud are in this thing. Because FURIA have dominated the gun rounds. Can they find success here? No blades for MW, nothing like that. The turret's already cleared kitchen.
Nice. That's a good play at the beginning of the round to break that turret, because it opens up a late lurk possibility.
And it forces someone to be there now.
But now he's stuck. There's 3 players on him. Oh, he can get less here.
That's the only weapon that they had. It was the Guardian, and it falls.
Wow, that was an ideal fight for Shanji. He wanted that. Les hiding behind a wall against a Guardian. The Guardian's such a good gun in that scenario.
You can tell he almost won it. Les was down to 20.
Oh my!
Feels terrible.
Speaking of winning gunfights, Havoc. That's a big kill on a Sadok. Now it's a 4v4.
There's no way to upgrade a weapon though, and Les not able to steady.
I haven't seen Les sleeping at the wheel like that in such a long time. He was not ready for that.
Such a wide swing. Makata with the op. He was ready for that one. Nazar on the jump. The second bullet not connecting. The paranoia out. It's going to tag a couple of members. Makata tries to hold the line, spotting another. Where do I go off this? Where's the support for the op? Pancata falls.
30 seconds left.
A weapon in the hands of Khalil. Numbers the way of the attack. Now the spike planted. Note here though, Tui's has his cove. They can try to stick a cheeky defuse, or Kalanzine can try to frag his way through. Never mind, Kalanzine not aware of the fact that there was another.
Here.
Can Tui settle? No! MW getting FURIA across the line. The very first map that FURIA have taken off of Loud ever. And that's what takes us to Bind.
What crazy play from both sides. It was such a hard-fought battle for FURIA. But yeah, the gun rounds, they were the difference maker. In this case, yeah, they closed it out with a thrifty. It's kind of poetic considering how Loud basically stayed in the game off of thrifties. So good for them, getting their first map win against the Titans of Loud.
And now we've got to mention the streak, right? Loud 25-0 against other Brazilian teams. And now they find themselves with one map to decide it all. FURIA pushed but they stand strong. They take Icebox 13-10, and that's going to take us to the decider. Bind to figure out who walks away on top. We'll see you guys on the other side of this break.